Now, we do have our two teams that are going to be in the winner's half of the bracket that are going to play tomorrow, winner's final, NRG and Omelet. I am going to leave it to you two, Turtle and Jorby. Space Station Gaming versus Rogue. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Dazzer and Turtle.
The time has come.
Daz is gone, and it's just you, me, and Twitch chat. And, I can't think of a more dangerous trio.
That's what I'm talking about.
In all of Rocket League esports, but we're gonna get serious here. Is Rogue and Space Station in the lower bracket? We saw Space Station against NRG, and I don't think that they looked like their full selves. We watched them play against NRG a couple of times, and those matches were a lot closer than I felt this one was.
I mean, we didn't see that powerhouse of an offense that we normally expect out of Space Station Gaming, which is surprising because normally we got AXB, Sypical, Arsenal, all three of them popping off in their own respective elements of the game. We've got Arsenal going for physical plays, AXB passing and shooting, Sypical, the striker of legends. Basically, all three of these guys have avenues of their own success, but we didn't see that connect, really. It was mostly just individual people for each game popping off, never at the same time. So we'll see if they have something to connect with as this game goes forward. And in this series, I want to at least see all three of them simultaneously really starting to pop off together instead of just focusing on one player.
Well, Space Station were in a little danger there. They do get out of harm's way and back over to the blue half. For Rogue, they got taken down by none other than Omelet, but the longer we go in this tournament, the better that loss looks with the teams that Omelet have taken down so far.
Yeah.
So Rogue, this is obviously it in the lower bracket. You got to pull out all the stops here, as Turinturo barely stopping the counterattack back past midfield, and we were trading back and forth. There was one real threatening opportunity from Rogue, but since then we've been playing boomer ball.
But we are in regular fashion seeing First Killer go for all these demos, always being the aggressor, trying to get a double touch. For Arsenal then, okay, so now we're starting to see things get a little bit grimy here on the field. Arsenal, I haven't seen too much demos from him this entire tournament, or even boosted really. I'm going to try and pay attention more to his positioning on the field and see what impact he can bring.
That was a nice touch from Crow. And then, again, good aggression in front by Turinturo to keep the pressure up. This is a good position right now for Rogue. First Killer is able to get it over to Kronovi, who read AXB's touch, and now taking it was First Killer. Tried to force his way into the net, but AXB will follow that up with a clear. Actually, Kronovi was hunting and almost found an angle through. Rogue still maintaining pressure here against Space Station, who need a way out. Ooh, nice second touch there. First Killer and Kronovi double commit. Well, you don't always get them.
That was such an awkward
I think First Killer
play.
was trying to avoid the defender there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the double commit actually resulted in both players, like you said, getting a touch on the ball. Sometimes we'll see a double commit where at least one of them is going to be first to the ball, but there, I think First Killer actually saved it from Kronovi, who crashed in. So unfortunate play for Rogue as they've had all the pressure so far, and they can't even put one in off the crossbar. Saved by AXB so far. Defense of Space Station getting tested. They can't really break out of their own half.
Well, right now, Kronovi especially looks very comfortable.
Yeah.
He's been in the right spot every time. He's actually taken the ball away from Space Station as well to stop a couple of counterattacks. Kronovi, the more we see him play lately, it feels like the better he gets.
Yeah.
And, the guy already has a mega brain, but First Killer, he's got a lot of style to him. He almost put that one in himself.
Well,
Turinturo. Yeah, go.
It's an awkward thing. You mentioned that thing with Kronovi, how you feel like he has progressed a lot, on this roster. It looks like he's in a different form. And I think that for veteran players, whenever they get that fresh new roster, that's when they start to pop off. What are you laughing at, Dorby?
It's just, it's the little pre-jumps in life for Kronovi. He read that pass. He read that pass about 2 days ago and then had that save.
He's insane.
Typical. He's on the back wall again here, having to receive the backboard rebound, but he couldn't do it. That's going to give Space Station a chance, maybe, but they pulled off the ball now. AXB, he had to come back from his own corner. It is picked up by Sypical. Now Sip, he's trying to weave his way around defenders, but Rogue have really not given any ground at all to Space Station. they've only been able to muster 4 shots on net, and you compare it to the 7 from Rogue, it feels like a massive difference.
Yeah, it's that speed factor from Rogue in the midfield that are really giving them the advantage in this game so far. You can see that almost half the time, if not more, that ball is trying to get cleared from Space Station. Somebody from Rogue is right there to meet him right in the face. This helps them keep possession and also starve out Arsenal, which is somebody you got to take boost away from.
First killer just, he got about 30 touches to win the ball every time. A pass in front for Space Station taken away. Kronovi got the catch again. And we've had a couple of series in the Summer Shuffle that have just been 0-0, 1-0 defensive squabbles, and this has turned into that. Rogue, they've had possession for most of this game, and they've been really annoying to work against for Space Station. It feels like as soon as Space Station feel like they have clearance, all of a sudden somebody either cuts in and blocks out their route, or they just end up losing the challenge completely. We're coming to the end of regulation. We might have overtime. Quick shot taken away by Turinturo. Kronovi, does he have the clear? No, might be a shot for Space Station. They don't steal it. Turinturo has to make one more save off the crossbar. Kronovi jumps in front. We're in overtime.
Turinturo, the man of the hour, getting that save at the end. That would have been a buzzer beater for Space Station had he not been in the perfect position. Then Kronovi as well to follow up after that initial save came out. What a play from Rogue's defense. They hold on, force overtime. The best look from Space Station. Now they're on the offense. Things are going back and forth. Things are also starting to heat up here, Jordan.
Well, Space Station, you know, it's unfortunate for them that the game went to overtime, and it killed their momentum because, like you said, that counterattack, it was certainly deadly even after that Crow save, but you know, time was against you, and now Rogue are headed downfield again to the orange half. Turinturo receiving the pass from Kronovi, but nothing just yet here for Rogue.
Arsenal.
First killer was up too quick for the ball. It's typical next up for Space Station, but nobody is able to get anything done. There's no creativity from Space Station. They've been locked out of any kind of passing plays. They don't have any space, and when they do get a pass off, Rogue jumps the route and clears it away every time.
Yeah, that's exactly the name of the game right now, is getting in those passing lanes for Rogue. They are so dominant when it comes to having vision on the field of where their opponents are going, and they position themselves not around the ball per se, but around the other team, which is a really smart tactic when you notice that Space Station are only trying to focus on the midfield passing.
Arsenal last one back. Turinturo almost won 2 challenges himself. There's a long pass up to Turo, but will be dropped back down to Rogue territory. They got plenty of boost to retool and head right back down to Space Station. Kronovi boosting right into the ball, but AXB fast to it. And then you see Rogue, they had pulled off on that play. And Space Station, they still can't really grab possession. This next challenge win might get them set up. Here we go. Arsenal
AXB up.
has a pass straight back down to Arsenal and taken away. Nice idea. That's really the best quality option we've seen from Space Station so far.
Yeah, we need to see more of that. I love the positioning from AXB to be in that risky situation of staying on the backboard. He trusts his teammate to find him. Arsenal went for the pass. Almost worked out, and like you said, it is the best look we've seen so far from Space Station. We want to see more plays like that develop, because right now Rogue's defense is not going to let a simple one in so long as they keep these rotations as tight as they have been.
Or a bump or a demo could also spell disaster. But here, Space Station, they're starting to keep this ball past the midfield line. The shot's good! Kronovi's launch was poor, and AXB punishes. Space Station take game 1.
The physical play is back on the side of SSG. You can see Arsenal as well hunting down Kronovi on the wall. I'm not even sure if he managed to get contact there. From his
he definitely did.
Wonky. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's
totally messing up Crow. That was weird, because when I was looking through Arsenal's perspective, when he flipped at the wall, I was unsure if he actually made contact with the backboard or if it was Kronovi's car. So that was a weird play, but overall, that's what we expect from Arsenal. He's back being annoying as usual.
And, you know, credit to Space Station. We had spent the majority of the game talking about Rogue, but, you know, Space Station also kept Rogue out despite the amount of offense that Rogue had. It was just Rogue did such a good job winning challenges in the attacking third that you felt like the pressure cooker was going to eventually burst. It never did for Space Station. In fact, they threw it right back in Rogue's face. So
I mean,
Yeah.
It's tough. Space Station, 12 shots to Rogues. I believe it was 11. So overall, a close game. And like you said, I think it started out definitely in favor of Rogue because we had really griped about it a lot where Space Station could not get in front of those clears and make sure that they were keeping the possession forward. And the server goes down for maintenance again.
Well, that's because you didn't. That's because you didn't ready up.
I'm
Turtle.
sorry. I was getting.
We can blame you.
Look, I'm about to get like a sticky note and put it. I think I have sticky notes. Hold on. I'm like
You have sticky notes nearby.
Look at
Well,
this.
either way, Space Station were able to survive the onslaught from Rogue in Game 1, but that tsunami will continue, and how long they can hold the tide, we'll find out. But I really felt like Space Station, they had counterattack opportunities that were constantly stopped, and they had that one chance at the end of regulation, and then after that, they were still struggling to hold the ball, and they would have as much as 1 or 2 passing plays, and then that would be it. And it was that bump on Kronovi at the very end in overtime. That was the only way they could get through Rogue's defense. So I don't know. I don't know how Game 2 is going to go, Turtle. That's the beauty of Rocket League.
Yeah.
We could have a completely different look here in Game 2.
It's gonna be tough. And now I feel responsible for this little gap. So I'm sorry. Okay, it won't happen
Did you have
again.
a
I got the
sticky note?
sticky notes. I got the sticky note.
Okay.
It's on my monitor. If I do it again, I will put it on my forehead. Hopefully that'll remind me.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. We're
It
gonna get
honestly,
Game 2
it
on the
honestly
way.
might. I don't doubt it because for some reason it's like maybe I'm just used to it in those 60 seconds. I'm like, you know what? We got time to breathe. I don't have to focus on anything. We can just talk about Rocket League. But no, your boys got to ready up. But yeah, you're exactly right, Jorby. Nobody can tell right now which way this series is gonna go just based off that first game because it was incredibly back and forth.
And they like the ping. They like the new server. And so Turtle's going to hit the ready button.
It rose to me already, and I hit ready. See, I've done it.
It was pretty great. Arsenal was giving Turtle some flack. It was funny. But man, see, Rogue, Omelet took down Rogue yesterday, and I was really thinking, man, I've been really high on this Rogue team for a little while. And Space Station, on the other side, I felt like they've been on a downswing lately. Like they had that run where it didn't seem like any team could beat them. But
Right.
now that rosters have settled down, now that Turo is playing consistently with Rogue, and we have these 6 teams. Well, I'll say 5 for now in North America. It gets that much tougher. So I feel like Space Station have come down to earth a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a very common thing I think that we see from teams that have made it to the top of the league because they'll get more comfortable with always dominating, and then they'll kind of fall back into a more basic rotational play where they're not focusing on what elements they brought to the field that were so new and unique. Instead, they just kind of try to keep really basic rotations all around the ball. And now, we're seeing them have to step up a lot more. We've got Arsenal have to go for more demos. Typical. We need to see his shooting back in the form that we saw from a couple seasons ago. It was nuts. And AXB as well. The passing has got to be better if we want to see them take a really huge lead here in the playoffs.
Arsenal shot taken away by Taranturo. Space Station, they start Game 2 with possession, and it could be that this is just how Game 2 goes if they hold on to the ball, because that was what Rogue did, but we'll see. We're in the opening minute right now. Rogue are waiting for how Space Station approach it. Typical getting past Taranturo. The first killer carrying the ball down. Kronovi couldn't find it, but that's okay. First killer's there. Typical ready to receive on his own back wall. And Rogue aren't really able to get set up in Space Station territory just yet.
Rogue pushed back a little bit now. Defense starting to cascade more towards their own net. Play a little bit more of a passive role. Maybe that's something that they have tried to instill into their play style a bit more. Take it a little bit back a notch, maybe try and focus a bit more on keeping possession with this ball rather than forcing so many shots on net that really are a bit basic, because I think that's what they were lacking was that final shot, the final execution that was on the other side of Space Station. So Rogue, maybe try to make sure your chances are much more quality than trying to just spam everything at the net.
No, that forced the double commit out of
Well,
Space
there it is.
Station, which means a wide open net. Sipical tried to get there in time, and first killer strikes first for Rogue.
And it's that initially from Turo actually trying to find space over to the side of where Kronovi is, which is a great idea initially because either way it forces the defense of the Space Station to make a move And of course, First Killer is lurking in the midfield, waiting for that clear so he can bang one on net. He cuts in at the perfect time. Rogue go up 1-0. That's a really good start.
Now, Sipical will take the ball out of his own half, but it'll be slow coming. Arsenal wanted to set it down for one of his teammates, but they're struggling to get by Rogue attackers. Here's Kronovi, almost put it on net, but tough angle that close. He sends it back towards the box. It's actually off the crossbar and out. A little closer than you might have expected. And AXB barely beating First Killer back to the ball. Kronovi just missing the ball himself as he ran out of boost. Bump on AXB. Arsenal having to turn around quickly. Kronovi tried to read the touch. He couldn't find it. AXB has to wait for First Killer now. Rogue on the attack again. This one's right down to Turo, but Arsenal wins the challenge and Space Station get out.
And you'll notice that Crow is actually stepping into more of that annoying role than I would have assumed First Killer to take. So maybe a bit of a conscious change for this Rogue roster, sending First Killer back a bit more instead of being annoying. We saw Crow go for multiple bumps, try and take some boost. Really cheeky plays, but speaking of cheeky plays, look at Arsenal with that flick over. Sipical doesn't get the goal. He was trying to shoot it instead of set up his teammates there. Not sure if it was the best choice, but now Turo with the bump, and Rogue manages to escape.
Certainly felt like Space Station were rushing it, knowing the net was open.
Yeah.
Typical trying to put that shot on net, but they do retain possession. Arsenal forcing Crow to stay on the back wall, and First Killer trying to read where this ball's going to go. Arsenal takes the boost away. AXB can't find it as Kronovi booms it away, but Arsenal sending it right back into Rogue territory. It's a little bit of boomer ball. Nice back pass tip to Turo, but the play dies again, Turtle, and we're back trading back and forth.
Yeah, very, very linear play so far from both these teams. You can see they don't really want to spread the field out too much with the way they're hitting the ball. Even though that's exactly what worked for Rogue. You notice that on that first goal, it was that hit from Turo that went all the way across the field. Usually those are the best types of hits you can get, where you can make the ball travel the field the most rather than forcing the player to use up all his boost. So I want to see SSG and Rogue also keep doing that.
Ooh, Kronovi ground pinch. It's a slow pinch. And do a little dance, Crow. It's 2-0.
Oh, we haven't seen a goal from Kronovi like this in a while. Crow is always so good and nice with these types of goals where he can really put a shot on target from one of the most unexpected angles. I think in terms of striking abilities, Kronovi might not be the most mechanical striker, but he's definitely one of the most unique ones. Oh, and another one,
he
too?
also hits him on the kickoff. Kickoff in the air, on the ground.
From the 50?
It's from the 50.
Wow. That's just tilting, Jordan. The 50
you know how you spell
goal.
calculated, Turtle, right?
Yeah.
Kronovi.
Right.
Calculated.
Well, I swear, dude, Kronovi, it's almost like Turbo has been the second coming of Kronovi as of late, because everybody knows Turbo for getting those weird, wonky goals, right? But I feel like Kronovi pretty much invented that back in the day whenever he was getting some really absurd angles, and he just continues to do it here in this series.
This has been fully Rogue's game. Space Station, they were able to eke out a victory in game one after withstanding a lot of Rogue pressure, but this time, Rogue, they found the back of the net on these quality opportunities. Kronovi picking up 2 of the goals, First Killer having another to his name, and Rogue quickly tied this series back up in yet again another quarterfinal as when the ball touches the ground, we move to game number 3. But Turtle, give me the one thing you want to see Space Station adjust.
I really think it comes down to that linear gameplay that I was talking about before. Space Station are very one-sided with where they're trying to place this ball, and you can notice that a lot of times as I make sure to consciously ready up. See, the Post-it note. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We readied up. We're good to go.
Proud of you.
No more delay. Thank you, Jordan. I feel like I need some kind of medal. Can somebody, I'm going to open up a P.O. box so I can get...
Turtle, I'll always give you a little encouragement.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. That's what I needed. But like I was saying, I mean, Space Station, every time they clear the ball, I feel like it's only on one side. And it's really important in Rocket League, especially as the game gets faster and faster, to make use of all the space on the field. It kind of reminds me a lot of football or soccer styles, where you really want to make the ball do most of the work instead of making yourself waste energy. And in this case, it's boost. Space Station, they're using a lot of energy, staying on the same side of the field when they could be spreading it out completely. I mean, even on that play with Sipical where he had an option on the net. He panicked a bit. Instead of going for the pass, he just tried to shoot it. You know, he doesn't even expect or think about all the space that's on the other side to maybe set up a teammate. So in that situation, overall, I would just want more awareness from Space Station. I think they got themselves back in this game.
And I also think that, you know, to your awareness point, to piggyback on that, they have to be just constantly aware of First Killer's presence. You mentioned Kronovi was kind of up in the offensive zone, stealing a lot of boost and trying to get bumps and demos where we see First Killer really succeed. But really, all three of these Rogue players are kind of subscribing to that philosophy.
Yeah, it's almost like they rotate when they want to switch that style and who too.
But, I mean, Space Station, they got to find a way to keep winning their own boost battles. It always starts with your own corners, moving down to midfield. That's a good pass. How can they generate space? We'll find out in Game 3. 30 seconds into it already. And the ball's in the air for so long from that touch from Turinturo back to Kronovi. Space Station getting bumped in the air. Oh, Crow. Just missing that touch. That would have really put Space Station on their back wheels, but Rogue get the ball back again. Arsenal trying to be speedy and can't find the read against Kronovi, but there's still decent look for Space Station. They were able to get a challenge there, but Kronovi somehow got under it, and then Turo beats AXB by an inch. So no play for Space Station.
But pay attention to Rogue's touches. Like that one from Kronovi, where he's going for a little bit of a back pass. While it didn't work, we even saw him be successful with it earlier on. They got a nice little back pass. So keeping possession for Rogue is a very big priority. Meanwhile, Space Station, it feels like they're a bit more panicky on the ball. They're just trying to go for the basic hit, the basic clear to get it out. They aren't really focusing on maintaining possession, rather just getting a hit.
We also see what else Rogue are doing pretty consistently is, oh my gosh, yeah, they got it.
That was almost scary.
Turo's like, no problem. But more times than not, like earlier you saw Kronovi just pop the ball up super high in his own third for First Killer, because he knows First Killer can do whatever he wants in the air. And you've seen it multiple times, though. Like First Killer has done those little touch back passes. They do such a good job of, you know, shading what they're going to do and how they're going to approach the ball with these little back passes that they have. Space Station forced to kind of guess at times, but right now it's evened up. And First Killer has the ball again, though. He's got another touch in the wing, and it's off the mark. Sypical. Arsenal on the counterattack. Double tap. Does he have it? And it's blocked by Kronovi, but here comes another shot. Too late from AXB. Turo got bumped, but back into the ball now. First Killer runaway. 1v1. Flips it over, but Sypical stands tall in net. That is a dangerous 1v1 to be in.
Oh, good touches, though, from Arsenal. That's what I expected. Sypical with a big whiff. Okay, I was just trying to give them props. I love that touch from Arsenal, which is something that Rogue constantly do, is focus on those tiny taps that will go back to your own end. Like this one from Crow, keeping possession like that. Beautiful. Look at how much space they're creating. They're wasting time as well to allow their teammates to get boosts, and therefore they can keep possession in midfield. So overall, Rogue, so much better. But we do see Space Station go for a couple of attempts here and there. They're breaking out of their own half, and they're starting to incorporate that into their own play too. So they're definitely starting to heat up.
And Rogue are back again on defense. Turo getting by one. First Killer continues with the redirect. Kronovi next up. Blocked by Arsenal. Another shot. It's light and taken away by Sypical. Up in midfield. Turo will have the catch. Kronovi following it closely, but well, Sypical was already there. But it's just right back into Rogue. Every single attempted clear by Space Station, every attempted 50 just feels like it falls back into another Rogue car. They are reading the game seemingly perfectly right now. The only difference is they can't get a goal into the net. AXB trying to carry that ball out. And Turtle, you know, for a player like Sypical, who at one point, not very long ago, people were saying he's the best in North America right now. He's not able to do anything.
Absolutely nothing. I love how you're talking about it. You say he can't do anything, and the man gets demoed. Literally nothing he can do. First Killer snipes him out of the air. He brought out his scope, found him flying, still managed to get the demo. Opens up a wide opportunity for Crow, and you can't find the execution with mechanics. Just make sure you can take somebody out. It makes it that much easier, Corbin.
Arsenal playing it slow around the corner. Ooh, and Sypical The ball got blown past him. Now AXB rotating back. We'll have to play it up again. Long ball. And the miss won't do any harm for Rogue as they punt the ball downfield again. And they'll be content to punt the ball for as long as possible. First Killer wants a triple touch. He won't get it with Typical and AXB both jumping for it. And you feel the pressure right now with Space Station. Constantly trying to rush to these 50s. AXB had to rush to that 50 just for Space Station to get set back in midfield again. They need an opportunity right now. It starts with Arsenal, but Kronovi just stole the ball away from him. Typical found AXB. High ball. Typical got the read. 2 commit for Rogue. It can be a chance as AXB grabs control. Waves around 1. Tries to work his way around Kronovi. Now coming back around again. Can they get towards the box? Where's the shot on net? It never can find it. Kronovi. Another save.
Still
He's up
up
on the backboard. First
Typical.
Killer punts it one more time. Typical can't keep it going the other way. And Rogue take series advantage 2-1.
Oh, man, I thought we might have actually seen a repeat from game 1 where Rogue, so many opportunities, so much possession, and they ended up scoreless. But here, they were actually the ones to get the demo play and open up that space for Kronovi. The only goal we saw out of all their plays. We thought maybe we'd see a better shot go in, something. So far, the defense from Space Station has been solid. But I want to talk about, as well, as I remember to ready up, it was almost bad, okay?
Close
I almost
one.
forgot to ready up. I was almost getting the post-it on my forehead. I was scared. But like I
It
was
still
saying,
might happen.
I don't want it to happen, bro. I'm not ready. But at the end of that game, if you notice, Typical actually hunted and found AXB on the other side of the map, all the way across with this clear. And that was so far one of the most effective transitions that they got. They got a lot of pressure from just that single hit, which is totally how it happens. And the server went down. It wasn't my fault. I did nothing, okay? Jorby, you can't blame me for that one.
It's okay. I don't blame you for that one, Turtle. I saw. I have my eyes. Production doesn't feel the same way as me.
Yeah,
though.
production just blame me in my ears. What did I do? I haven't done anything. I'm just trying to express the point that SSG, if they clear across the map, it's over.
Well, right now, Space Station, they only have one more life left. This is the lower bracket, and they really just, they have not looked themselves. Like I said, it wasn't that long ago that we saw Typical 1v3ing teams. And not just one team in one match. Like he was doing it consistently, and he just can't find any control anymore. But I also think that that's just credence to not only NRG but also Rogue. There's one thing Rogue were doing really well especially in the latter half of that game, where they were just getting in front of defenders or just being where Space Station are. And when they go to get these passes, they're just playing it away. They know where Space Station are on the pitch, so they'll just play it away from the team and where the flow of the game is going, and force Space Station to have to shift their entire momentum. And it's been a struggle. And every time you force a team to do that, you end up losing the boost game. You end up losing touches, losing 50s, and unable to position because you lack the resources to get there. Yeah, so definitely. I just think Rogue are running around in circles around them right now.
Yeah, and it is 100% because of that boost game. You'll notice, too, there are many moments in these games where Rogue will have plenty of space in the air. I think I saw multiple times it was usually Turo and First Killer who would pop the ball up, and nobody from Space Station had enough boost or didn't even want to risk their boost to go all the way up and meet them with that 50. So they'd wait back, give all that space in the air for either First Killer or Turo. And in all that time, you have to be conscious of who's taking the mid boost. If nobody's going up quick to challenge that 50 and you're not already moving the defense up to go into midfield, you're leaving all that boost for the possession of Rogue. So that's why they're getting starved out so much. It's almost like a reverse effect that we don't expect. As I remember to ready up again, this is always getting scary, bro. This is always getting scary.
It's
Look,
okay.
I don't like this, Jordan. You can't put enough pressure on me.
It's a close one in chat every time, Turtle.
But, so every time you see Rogue basically have all that space in there, that's how you know things are starved out for SSG. It's a scary game, but we've already got match point for Rogue. I didn't expect this. I 100% thought SSG was at least going to be more dominant than they are right now, Jorby.
Well, we'll see if they can right the ship in Game 4, because it's their last life. Rogue win here. Space Station are eliminated from the tournament. Rogue have not had an easy journey here either, where at the beginning of this group play, they looked fast, fearsome, and impossible to beat. But against Omelet, They didn't look the same. Ooh. AXB.
Oh, nice
I'll
touch.
take that back over to Sypical. But Rogue were still able to be fast despite those losses and just never lose their pace, no matter where they are in a series. At least in Summer Shuffle, it's been that way.
Well, I think it's a lot of mental clarity, too, whenever you notice that, you know, maybe you had lost to Omelet, a team that you had, at least on paper, the advantage over. But noticing that a lot of other teams are falling to them, too, it kind of helps you to not be tilted whatsoever with that loss. You kind of move on from it because you notice, you know what? Everybody else is losing to the underdogs. Why do we care? So they can focus a lot more on the match that's ahead of them and the one that they're currently in.
Fine ball in the corner. Sypical will just work his way to the opposite side of Rogue territory. This is really all Space Station have been able to do. AXB winning a 50, the biggest of the match, and that's a goal for Space Station.
AXB flipping into the ball. He didn't get any power. He kept it close, actually. More of a fortunate touch there instead of banging it, because it allowed him to get that dunk that nobody expected on the side of Rogue all the way into his net. That reminds me of the Kronovi 50 that we did see in the corner. I believe it was in Game 2 or Game 1. I'm not sure, but pretty much revenge right now for Space Station. That's a good start.
Kronovi will pitch this high over to First Killer, who beats the defender. Last defender is AXB, and he can't get it. First Killer redirects. Rogue tie.
First Killer. He went up for this aerial and stayed on the backboard. He could have easily decided to rotate out. That's such a difficult angle. That's a brilliant finish from First Killer from the backboard.
That's the danger of First Killer, man. When First Killer's doing First Killer things, he is one of the most unpredictable players in North America right now. Squaring up against Kronovi. Oops.
That's just
Punch
the
in
way
reverse
strikers
exit.
think. That's 100% the way strikers think, too, because a normal player, you know, I think a Torment, if he landed on that backboard, Torment would have, I'd say 90% of the time, rotated back and just had a priority of maintaining rotation. But you've got First Killer, a player who has great mechanics, incredible striking. He stays on the backboard, and what happened here?
Team? What happened to Rogue here? One got demoed as he tried to clear it. First Killer lost the 50, and Turo got sent. Yeah.
Bro, I think those
he got
are my
sent to the
favorite
parallel
bumps.
universe.
Those are the best. Whenever the player isn't fully demoed and they just get pancake flipped, oh, it's just great.
Pancake flip, omelet. The breakfast foods never really stop on this tournament, do they? Turo trying to set up another shot, and Kronovi will put this in. Space Station lost on their own line.
Oh, man, it's getting really sloppy, too. These goals lately have not been the best. Typical smashes his forehead into the right side of the goal there. He was trying to get a clear and used up all his boost, but his trajectory
he's going to
was
have to enter
off.
a concussion protocol after
Yeah,
that one. Someone's got to get down on the field. Check on Sip. We'll see if he's okay.
I don't think the insurance will cover that on his car. I'm not sure, though.
Well, we'll have to keep on playing through it. Turo, good matchup on the 50 to keep that ball out. Again, First Killer, always ready for it. He flips it over to Turo, who then flips it out. Oopsies.
What was the mechanics there? You saw First Killer land on the ball. It was such a cheeky little pass out to the left side. And then Turo just an open net miss. It's such a sloppy performance so far from both these teams.
Dude,
we're getting down into the mud.
Did you see Arsenal he pre-jumped the read from First Killer when Crow was passing it to First? Like, that's the pressure the Space Station are feeling right now. Like, Rogue are hitting every one of these passes.
Oh, 3v1 though.
Yeah, he's got Sypical. AXB had the pass. Arsenal could not bump Turo, but he turns back onto this ball, scoops it out for AXB, but that's all they're going to get. It's a dead play. Arsenal has no boost, and Sypical has to catch it on his way back into the stadium. He wins another touch. AXB moving downfield off of the old musty from Arsenal, but it doesn't net him anything. Space Station, that launch from Sypical, what was that? What was that? I don't think I've ever seen...
What is this game?
I don't think I've ever seen a poorer launch off the ground. I mean, honestly, I'd have to take another look at it, and they get scored on here. They couldn't handle the ball out of their own corner. Space Station, it feels like on the pitch that they're tilted.
I mean, how can you not
they're
be?
rushing.
When you're witnessing all these goals that Rogue are scoring, it's off of 50s in the corners that somehow managed to squeeze out towards your goal. Nobody's in position for it. Space Station are trying to be aggressive and not play with a safety net in defense. but that's how they're getting caught off guard because Rogue are winning so many 50s and, dare I say, getting incredibly fortunate.
Space Station, they've been able to grab 2 goals. Can they get another one? Here, Arsenal, he works his way around the entire Rogue defense. They need a shot on net. It's a bouncer. It somehow stays out. AXB hopped it, but he missed the ball on the bounce. Arsenal, can he get something set up in front of the box? No. Kronovi has the save. Here's a pass to Sipical. Plays it slow, but no. First killer's there, and Kronovi continues to clear. All AXB can do is buy time.
The defense is unstoppable right now for Rogue. You can see that First Killer was actually in his own net. Arsenal was waiting, trying to get the bump, constantly harassing him. First Killer didn't even panic, went out early, and also got the save previously too. Mechanics might not be the best on offense, but at least for defense on the side of Rogue, it's working.
Torrentoro keeping it in front despite the woes for Space Station. They have maintained this 1-goal deficit with this push. They could tie it up. Shot on target, but Crow floating in the net. Another save, but it's right down straight in front of the box and saved again by First Killer. Now Space Station got to do it, go in the distance. Arsenal just kicks the ball out. That's First Killer's. One more chance. Hard clear, denied. Sipical can't catch it, and Rogue annihilate Space Station Gaming out of this tournament.
My goodness. First Killer. You absolute beast.
I thought Kronovi was the MVP of that whole series.
Did
First
you see
Killer,
the last game, though, with First Killer? I was watching his perspective. The amount of saves that he got. Always there in position to get the challenges. He got that incredible backboard read to put it in. And then all throughout the midfield, he's the guy who even slammed the ball on the ground last second. First Killer was doing so much work in the spaces. And Jorba, you're right, Kronovi was popping off too. Was he the guy in the situation in the 3v1 too? I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
And I mean, there was still a hustle that had to happen in front of the box.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rogue were fortunate in that situation. I felt like Space Station really missed an opportunity there. But that kind of summed up how that entire series went for them. They squeaked out a win in game 1 that they didn't control at all. So Space Station, they got some things to think about as they sign off of this tournament and get ready for RLCSX. Because I know that they're not happy with how they performed. They are absolutely capable of destroying anyone in North America. Those 3 players are quality. They weren't feeling it this tournament. And we got more. We'll see who else is feeling it. We'll continue to watch Omelets run through the playoff bracket. We got more Rocket League coming up. We'll be back after the break.